Alright, what's up guys? Today we're going to be doing a tier list for the Lucky Blocks Skywars items. I've ranked all of the items that come from Lucky Blocks into tiers C, B, A, S, and then SS. These are not weapons, they're not armor, and they're not items found in spooky game chests. So they're not going to be things like risky pearls or armor breakers or anything like that. I'm going to start with C's. The way that I divide up the categories, the different letters, is C. I put as items with drawbacks or items with negatives. B's are just decent items. Every item starts out as a B, and then I moved it either up or down depending on what I thought of it. A are what I rank as good items to have. They're positive. They're better than the decent ones. They're going to do something good for you. S I ranked as the best items. These are the ones that are going to get you kills, that are going to save your life. These are the ones that basically once you get them, you know you've got a decent chance at winning. And then SS are the top items. These are the 3 items that I think are the best items in the game. And essentially when you have these 3 items, you pretty much cannot lose until you lose them. So I'm going to start with C's. The first C that I have on here is Mystery Meat. Mystery Meat is a C because although it can help you, it might not. It's ultimately just random. It's a piece of steak that you eat instantly upon clicking it, and it gives you 3 random potion effects. These can be poison, wither, they can be speed, they can be jump boost, they can be regen. The only time I'd ever use Mystery Meat is if I were guaranteed going to die from something. So if I were on fire, for example, and I had a few hearts left, I might drop the Mystery Meat just because I may live if I eat it. But other than that, it doesn't have a lot of uses, and often eating it can do more harm than good. So I just typically avoid it because it doesn't necessarily benefit me. Also on the C list, and this one is not necessarily as bad, but the super die is on my C list. The super die has a 1/6 chance of killing you, and then a 2/6 chance, or a 2 out of 6 chance of doing something negative for you. So if you roll a 1, you instantly die. If you roll a 2, you take a lot of damage. 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all decent. 6 is amazing. You get full diamond armor. 3, I believe you get some extra hearts, and then 4 and 5, you get different diamond swords. The reason the super die isn't all that good is because most of the weapons in the game are better than the diamond swords given to you by the super die. So essentially 1, 2, 5, and 6, or sorry, 1, 2, 4, and 5 are not really any use to you. And although 3 is decent with extra health, I believe it's only about 2 or so extra hearts. And even if it were 4, it's not really worth rolling for 4 extra hearts. Excuse me. When there is the instant death chance, and obviously 6 is good, but there's a 1/6 chance of diamond armor, which is good, and a 1/6 chance of dying, which is bad. Overall, I just think risking the super die is not a good thing. If you used it every game, you would lose a 6 of them by default, so it's just not that good of an item because it's an item with a drawback. However, if you are losing, there's really no downside to rolling it. C, the last C item is the Devil's Contract. This is a C because, well, if you don't know what the Devil's Contract does, essentially you take a gamble that you can win the game in 60 seconds. If you take this gamble, if you take the contract, then you will get a diamond sword with sharpness, and you'll get 16 generic ender pearls. If you do not complete the game in 60 seconds, you will automatically die. I find it not to be very good in any situation, again, unless you're losing drastically. If you use this early game, you're not going to win because you're not going to have enough time to kill everyone. And if you use this late game, you're typically better off just getting Lucky Blocks and the Devil's Contract. Whoever you're targeting will likely be able to avoid you with teleports and stuff like that since they've had time to collect them. So overall, I find those 3 items, the Super Die, Devil's Contract, and Mystery Meat, to be not that useful. Okay, next we're going to be moving into the B's. B's are just decent items I would categorize as just taking up space in the inventory but not doing anything negative for you. Or if you do decide to use them, they just have a very specific use, or they're not that generally useful. I'm going to start with the Wither Blast. Wither Blasts look like blaze rods. They come in stacks of 5, and essentially right-clicking them will do damage if you aim at a player in a very short range. The reason I rate these a B is because, one, of their slow fire rate. Even though they come in stacks of 5, the rate at which they fire is so slow that they're almost not worth using in actual PvP. And 2 is they don't do a whole lot of damage. It's not like if you have someone down to a third of their health, you can just Wither Blast them and they die. It takes more than 1 Wither Blast to kill them, and they are slow at firing, so that's why I do not rate that any more than a B. Along the same lines as the Pig Launcher. The Pig Launcher can do some very strong knockback, but like the Wither Blast, they come in a stack of 3, but their fire rate is very slow. You can't fire off 3 pigs rapidly, and another thing that keeps this from being an A item is that the hitbox on the pig is very large and awkward, and trying to shoot near blocks may just cause the pig to explode. There are benefits to having a Pig Launcher. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but it does a lot of knockback, so you can use it on yourself to jump, but it doesn't get you very high vertically. It can launch you forwards, though. I've used it in some situations, but like I said, it's a B item because it's very specific in the uses. Next is I'm going to go with the Shotgun. The Shotgun, like the other 2 items I've talked about, comes with a stack. It's a stack of redstone items. And what it does is, like the Wither Blast, in a very short range, it'll do damage and knockback to an enemy that you're aiming at. Like the Wither Blast and the Pig Launcher, it's a very slow fire rate and it won't do a lot of damage. So you're going to have to do multiple hits in order to actually kill anyone. It is better early game because if no one has a weapon that can kill you in just a few hits, you can use it to knock them back and shoot them at the same time. But because of the fire rate, it's very hard to get combos going. One interesting use, but like I said, it's very, very specific, so it's a B still, is shotguns are the only weapon I believe in the game that can actually damage someone using a superstar, which grants invincibility, and we'll talk about that later. But that's interesting to know. I learned that when I tried to attack someone with a shotgun and I had a superstar. Next item on the B list is the Jackhammer. The Jackhammer is a pickaxe. When you break a block, it breaks in a 3x3 cube instead of that one block. It's an item. You're not going to get many kills with it, and although I'm sure it does have some very specific uses, like breaking the ship map with a 1 deep floor. There's a map with a 1 deep floor. You can break huge chunks of that off as someone's attacking you. It's very specific and it won't help in general combat. Next are instant walls. Instant walls are, again, they're an item, right? That's why they're a B. You can use them defensively, and you can use them to trick people out or to trap people, but you're not likely going to be getting kills or saving your life with instant walls, and that's why I believe them to be a B. Essentially, you right-click somewhere and it pops up a wall. I think it's about 5x4 or something like that. Not very useful. You can use it to hide from projectiles, but other than that, it's not going to do much for you. Next is the Evil Anvil. It looks like an anvil. You right-click it to throw it at your enemies. It doesn't do damage upon hitting, but wherever it lands, it's going to start raining anvils from the sky. This item rarely gets you kills because the anvils are loud and they alert the enemy that they're falling, so unless the first one miraculously hits them, it's not going to do much damage to them. They can easily build a block over their head or just hide underneath their island. And honestly, I use it more as a distraction than anything else. I use it when I want to ambush someone or bridge, and I don't want them to be throwing projectiles at me. But other than that, not that useful. Next is the TNT Launchpad. Now, the TNT Launchpad is actually probably one of the most useful items on here. It's great if you need to get high up or if you need to bridge, but because it doesn't have much of a use in actual combat or kills, it's going to stay at a B. Most of the time, you can just bridge short bridges without using the TNT Launchpad, and you don't need to get high up. There are other items like bridge eggs that kind of just replace this and knock it down to a B. Next is snowballs. Snowballs, they're so close to being a good item, but they're really not. The problem with snowballs is, even though they're enchanted with knockback 1, that's only on left click with them. That's not on actual throwing them. So they do normal snowball knockback. They come in 4 stacks of 16 instead of 1 stack of 64, which is another drawback. It takes up a lot of space in the inventory, and you're going to have to be cycling them if you're using them during combat. You can left click to knock someone back and then combo them into the right click of the snowballs, but again, it's not very useful when most weapons in this game, if they get close enough and do enough hits to you, you're just going to die in a couple hits. So snowballs aren't that useful other than just knocking people while they're bridging, but there are more useful projectiles later in A and S. Next is the Mimic. The Mimic is an ender chest that you put down, and it is a trap, essentially. If someone right-clicks on the Mimic, it'll spawn a zombie that will attack them. This, obviously, it's not going to be that useful, especially against people who know what they're doing, because anyone who sees an ender chest just isn't going to right-click it, and having the Mimic doesn't do anything for you. So unless you're against someone who's very new at the game, the Mimic isn't going to do anything for you, and if they are new at the game, you can just use another item to kill them instead. That's why the Mimic is a B. Next and last on the B list, I believe, is water balloons. Water balloons, they throw, it's essentially a balloon that throws, and wherever it lands, including sometimes in the air in a glitchy sort of way, it'll spawn a water as if you poured a water bucket. It's essentially like a projectile water bucket, and it's just about as useful as a projectile water bucket would be. It's not that useful. You can use it to throw water where you're going to be bridging towards, so that if you get knocked off, you land in the water. But, I mean, if you don't have teleports, you're probably dead to projectiles anyway, so it's not that useful, and they don't do any damage. Also, mystery eggs are a thing. Mystery eggs are a B-class item as well as the rest. They come in stacks of 3, and they function just like normal mystery eggs in Skywars. You right-click on the ground to spawn a random mob that will be friendly towards you no matter what it is. This can be zombies, spiders, it can be pigs, cows, it can be rabbits, it can be endermites, it can be anything. I find enderman to be the most hilarious one because it just teleports around to other people's islands and starts killing them, and it's very funny. But the reason mystery eggs are a B and not an A-class item is because they can be harmful to you in a very annoying way. Not necessarily a damaging way, but very, very annoying. And I do not use mystery eggs in my games. They're one of the few items that I absolutely do not use no matter what because of this annoyance. There is a chance to spawn a zombie, like I said, a zombie or a baby zombie. These two zombies, for whatever reason in the programming, if anyone touches them, gets in the same hitbox zone as them, they will just take, like, wither for a split second. They will gain the wither effect for a split second and take damage from it. And because your minions will teleport to your exact block when you get too far away, that means anytime you get away from your minions, they're going to teleport into you and give you wither damage. And this will suck, especially if you're jumping over gaps. You'll just get withered and fall. It's damage that's at random times to you. And even though it's not a lot of damage, it will inconvenience you strongly. And honestly, it's very annoying every time you're running around the map and taking wither damage every 4 or 5 seconds because your minions are teleporting to you. Other than that, there's no drawbacks. They are random, so you can just get passive mobs. If you only got combat mobs and there was no wither effect, I would rate this an A-class item. And if you only got combat mobs, I may rate this an A-class item anyway, but because you can get passive mobs, this is only a B-class item. However, if you're fine with the wither effect upon zombies teleporting to you, then I would recommend just using these. There's really no downside to it other than the fact that they block rush pearls, like all minions.